Ready? Hey, you guys, it's your girl Dosh coming back to you from Real Takes. Today's going to be a great show. Today I'll be actually discussing, of course, a scary gem as well as some movie news. The movie titled The Ritual. This is actually a Netflix film. I was actually excited to do this particular film. Now, just like I've stated before, Netflix is kind of, turning out to be a great channel to watch all things just besides TV shows, movies, and they're actually turning out quite a bit. And this is one that caught my eye so much so that I did a reaction to it on YouTube. And when it finally dropped, I wanted to go ahead and do a full review on this. So with that said, let's just go ahead and jump right in it. Now, in regards to the movie The Ritual, this is based off of a novel, best-selling novel by Adam Novell. In regards to this particular movie, it's based around some college friends who have a tragic death. One of their friends passes away, and they decide to get together and go on a backpacking trip through the Scandinavian forests. Now, hence that was one of the things that intrigued me from the trailer because of the simple fact that, group of, friends going out to the forest, don't know kind of what they're doing, what they're going, they're just kind of just setting off, on a little bit of a journey, kind of get back together and kind of, you know, get together just to kind of see, the friendship, what's going on now. With that said, prior to them doing the trip, they're hanging out one night and, having drinks in a bar and all that and just talking. And a couple of them stay outside, wait for two of them. The main person, let me get his name right. His name is played by Rafe Spall. He plays Luke. And the one that actually passes in the movie, his name is Robert in the movie, goes by the name Paul Reed. Now, it's set up where they're in the midst of, probably getting a little bit of liquor to take home, whatever and all that. And they're talking. Unbeknownst to them, they come across a burglary happening in the midst. Now, Luke's character, and I'll tell you, I was so annoyed with him because as a friend, you would think when this happens, you stay by your other friend. No, he decides to back up, walk around the aisle, and hide. He leaves his friend Rob there, and that's when the other burglars kind of catches his eye, and he turns and notices that Luke is gone. Now, all beknownst to him, he's caught. They're already robbing the store owner. They're trying to take the cash, and then they want his cash, whatever he has that's a valuable. One thing that he refused to give to them was a ring. And at that moment, they keep showing Luke kind of hesitant. He has some liquor in his hand. He's trying to decide if he's going to form to use it as a weapon, but he does nothing. He basically kind of balls up and he cowers out. And with that, when the friend says, I'm not giving you my ring, they're like, take it from him. The guy's yelling at the other guy to take it. He knocks him inside his head. He falls down. They shows the scene of Luke kind of seeing his friend down. He has a gash in his head. He's bleeding. He looks up at his friend Luke like, what are you going to do? That's Luke right there. Now, the scene is so sad because when he does look at him, then they hit him again, and that's when he is done. You hear the sound effects of the head bashed, to the ground, and there's nothing you're going to do. So from there on, it kind of pans right into them already backpacking. It just gets full straight into the movie. From there, it kind of just shows them kind of, talking amongst each other, trying to figure out where they're going, whichever. One of the friends in the movie, he plays Dom, played by Sam Trotton. He's another key main character, even though it's mostly based around Luke's character more so than anyone else, but he does have a lot of more interaction with Dom, and then there's two other gentlemen who were in the movie that, here and there, but they were the main parts where it was more engagement between the two in conversation. He has a problem, and if you see in the trailer, he ends up hurting his ankle, so he's kind of limping. They're like, okay, well, you know what? Let's take a detour. Hint right there, they don't stick to where they're supposed to go, and they end up going another part because they want to kind of finish up the backpacking part and get somewhere so they can get somewhere where they can get in, maybe a hut or a cabin or whatever. Now they're going through the woods and they kind of see certain things, mostly Luke, and he starts to notice, they don't hear anything, they don't hear any birds, maybe some deers out there. Nothing. Is complete quiet, like there's nothing out there. And actually is something out there, but it's not an animal form of, so to speak. And from there, it shows they find some place of like a little hut, whatever. No, they don't go into it at first. They kind of creeped out, so they try to backpack outside. Now from here is where it gets really interesting. Luke starts to have a little, visual, imagination of visuals. It's almost like you think he's awake and he's seeing things. It's as far as they go into the forest, these certain things happen. For a couple of nights, he kind of has this happen because they're out there maybe 2 or 3 nights where they show a couple of nights of them sleeping, whatever. And it kind of has it where he has a dream of him being back in the little store they were in getting the liquor. It's like it keeps replaying certain parts of it. It doesn't show you the actual act of his friend being killed, but it shows him walking what looks like to be in a convenience store, and he's walking through the aisle with the liquor, and he's kind of having that moment where he's remembering what happened, what he could have done, what he should have done to help his friend, and help himself. And he keeps waking up like it's a nightmare. Now there is a scene where it shows the next day, he doesn't kind of really say anything to his friends, and it shows him going. And they start coming across some trees. They find a deer that's been hiked up into the trees, has been killed, slightly butchered or whatever. Then they come across trees that have symbols. Now, if you notice, I think in the part with the ritual, they show the words ritual written in kind of certain codes, whatever. That's kind of how some of the symbols look like on the trees. Now, it is horror, and you would think, people would think, okay, once I see this, turn back around, go back, but no, they choose to move on. It is what it is, that's the cliche of horror. And they end up finding a hut, wherever. This time they are all inside. Of course, he has another episode where it gets a little bit more imagination with the situation of what happened in the convenience store, but then it shows a part where he comes out, is no blood or nothing going. It shows his friends just looking at him. Now, the next following day, him and his friends kind of get into it, and they're like, I'm seeing this. Look at this marking. He gets a marking on his body, not figuring out how it happened to him. And his friend's like, he's like, why don't you believe? He's like, I don't want to take into account anything you say. And he's like, so what does that mean? He says, I just don't understand. He says, no, you don't understand a lot. Meaning, there was no blood on you. How is it this happened to our friend, but there was no blood on you? Where were you? Meaning, what happened in that convenience store? What did you do? What happened? What were you not doing? And basically, Dom's character is the one to decide. He said, since you all don't want to say anything, I'll just speak up. And they kind of get into an argument. Luke decks him, but it's the truth. You know, he's mad at him because it's true. He did not do anything. He didn't, and they really don't want to discuss it. But Dom is just sick of tippy toeing around it, and they kind of get into an argument. And he's about to leave him because one of the guys, he asked him too. He says, "Do you feel the same way he feels?" He's like, "I don't know." And he's like, really, he does. He just wants to keep the peace because they just want to get out of the woods. So another night goes by. The other friends start having little nightmares or visions and all that, and it seems to get more and more apart. So moving on with the part of the story, certain things start happening. And it's almost like this particular figure that's in the woods is called a motor. That's kind of what the creature's called within the book. He has a way of making visions kind of come to light to them, and it kind of takes on a certain life to them where it looks real, but it's all in their mind. And they kind of end up, trying to run away from them, whichever. Luke's been trying to explain this to him. The other two guys who are not so much so into the dialogue of the movie kind of have these little episodes, and with that happens, they start seeing things and all, and they're getting scared. They want out of there, and then with that, they're not alone. Like I said, it is a creature, but then come to find out, there's actually some humans out there as well, some human beings out there as well amongst them. Let's just say that they are the ones that are helping this creature. What they do, from what the creature makes them do, they bow to this particular creature, and if they bow, they get to live. Now, with the other two characters in the movie, they don't live long, so I'll just put that out there. They don't make it. It's basically down to Luke and Dom, and they end up getting caught. They try to get away. They see all these fires, pits, whatever, that have been light up. Of course, the humans that did it, kind of leading them to a path of a hut. And then when they walk in there thinking they're safe, they're not safe. That was basically where they all congregated, and they basically use this to them. They tie them up, whichever, and they take Dom's character out there, and they're afraid, whatever. Luke, let's just say that he feels the guilt of not doing what he should have done for his friend Robert, that he feels like he has to step up to the plate finally and help his friend Dom. They take him upstairs, they taunt him, they bring him down, but then they use him as a sacrificial lamb for the particular creature. Now, the way the creature is, at first you can't really see him because it's so dark. And that's one thing about movies when they do most of these movies in the dark like that. Like, this reminds me of certain parts of like the movie Blair Witch, where they're trying to give you the creepy factor. And at first it is. The beginning of the movie is very creepy, whatever, and all that. The way the cinematography is done is beautiful, the visuals, but then the sound effects were really good of hearing a creature. He'll sound like he's close, but then he's far away, then he's close, he's climbing throughout the trees. It's just really creepy factor, which I actually enjoyed. It was no real jump scares, honestly, just those little things, and that could be very creepy to me. I don't need you to like have them jump out, but if you can feel like they're like really close behind you or really on your back, it brings forth that feeling, whatever. Like, if you turn around, it might really be right there. So at that point, Luke, he steps up to the plate. He has something planned. He's trying to do whatever. All of them are out there kneeling down to the creature. he's tied up, Dom, whatever. He sees a vision of what is a woman, and he actually is a woman he talks about just in passing when they're first backpacking, and he thinks it's her. No, it's the creature. He takes on the form of this woman, and he catches him. He puts him, hikes him up off his face and all that, trying to make him bow, whatever and all. And he's just too afraid to do anything, and he basically ends up, losing his life. Dom is gone. By then, Luke is like, okay, I'm the last one standing. I got to do something, otherwise they're going to kill me. Whatever. The girl who had him chained up, who comes in there to try to feed him, whatever, just tells him, you're going to bow to him. We all do, and you're going to do the same. And he's just like, no, it's not going down like that. So she has no idea. He's gotten out of his little constraints, whatever, and all that. He's kind of just played along, and he gets a control of a weapon, whatever, and he kind of gets the head start on them trying to get out of there. He sets some of the parts of the house on fire because there's certain rituals upstairs within the upper area where they were taunting Dom's character, and he starts to light everything on fire, lighting the home on fire. They're kind of looking like, what's going on, whatever, because there was a guy who was supposed to be manning the home. And from there, that's when he says, okay, I got to use this as my way to get out. Let me go out the back way. The creature kind of sees him because he tries to come for one of the people who's bowing, whatever, because he becomes very angry and agitated, and he takes it out on them. They've been following all the rules that's set to stay alive, but he, whatever it is, takes it upon himself, and he's done. So from there, he uses his way. I got to get out of this forest. I got to get out of here because it seems like this is what he uses to keep his people in line. Whatever. If he gets to a certain part of the forest where he has no control over whoever's within that vicinity, then it won't work on him. He'll be able to. So he gets away at first. He knocks him down, tries to make him kneel. Then he gets back up. And he forces him down again, and he has like some sort of weapon. He uses it to hurt him, and he uses that to run away, whatever. And he's running after him. This particular creature is very long, tall. When you see the form of his body, it looks like it's a large deer, but his face is the creature's face is a different type of form. It doesn't look like a deer's face, but he has like the hoofs and everything else, whatever, and all. Just totally different type of visualization, whichever I would think the creature would look like. You don't see its true face because it keeps it very shadowed in the dark, which I kind of like. You see the light of the eyes, whatever. It looks like very demonic. And that was actually creepy, especially when he starts running after him because it's this large thing running for him. But I will say Luke eventually gets away, but the way they do it is so lackluster with him because he eventually gets out of the forest. He turns around, the creature's screaming, roaring at him, and he just roars back at him like, yeah, I got away, whichever, and all that. And then it kind of shows him, the morning comes, and it shows him just walking barefoot, bleeding with an axe, in his hand, whatever, and all that. And it kind of just pairs off, whatever, and all. I wish he could have been a little bit more, if it even showed another, group of people back, but just kind of give it a possibility of what could have been maybe a sequel. You never know. They might consider doing this. I don't know. But it does leave it open interpretation of them possibly doing another one. So, but yeah, a little of the lackluster at the ending, whichever and all that. But I will say I really did enjoy it enough so that I say out of a 10 I give it like about a 7. It was creepy parts, no jump scares, like I said. The storyline, it is for what it is, but as a horror movie, really cliche, whatever, forest, you don't know where you're going. You see things that look, unbeknownst to you, you don't understand. It's creepy. Instead of going opposite, you go to where, whatever. So you all know the deal. That's just how a lot of horror is done, whatever. You want to yell at the screen, yell at them to turn around, but they're not going to listen. You just hope that in this actuality, you would do exactly what I'm saying. You do the opposite. You go back, but it is what it is. So I actually enjoyed. If you guys get a chance, it is on Netflix. Check it out. If you're home, watch it. I think you might be surprised. You might actually enjoy it too. And comment below if you guys end up watching it. Let me know what you think. I would love to know what your feedback is. I like to learn what people think of other horrors out here because they're trying to shape up and switch up the horrors. And I actually like how they're trying to get back to those type of feelings about horror where it's just not a quick jump scare, and they give you that creepy factor where it's like you do feel like it's creepy, especially when you're watching it in the dark. It gives it a full effect. So with that said, I'm gonna go ahead and jump into some good movie news here, and I have some good little movie news. I don't know if you all recall the movie that came out in 2016, Don't Breathe, directed by Fede Alvarez. It starred Stephen Lang and Jane Levy. I will tell you this. This was a midnight hit. A lot of people weren't sure how to think of it. When I saw the trailer, I really enjoyed Don't Breathe. It was done very well. Now, for Jane Levy, this was not her second forte working with Fede Alvarez. She actually did the remake of Evil Dead. Now, I am an Evil Dead fan. When I did my horror movies, that was in my top 5. I love Bruce Campbell. I love Ash. So they did a good job. So I will say that she did her part and she did it very well. I was very happy for that. I'm still waiting for that second one, so hopefully we'll see how that goes. Now, for this second one, they did run into Stephen Lang, and he put it out there. Let me quote him for exactly how he phrased it to everyone. He's like, "Oh yeah, we're doing a sequel," and I'm actually excited about that. Now, from what I've been hearing, they have nothing actually in regards to storyline just yet. I know Feder Evers, of course, most likely will come back as a director. Sam Raimi is one of the producers, and that's a big thing because, of course, when it comes to the script and all that, and for horror, he is one of my favorites to go to. Besides being a producer and, of course, a director, and working with Bruce Campbell on so many different things. Dark Man, I could name quite a few things. I love Sam Raimi, so I'm looking forward to them considering doing this in the way. If you all remember how it ended, I hate to spoil it, but anybody who didn't see it, sorry. Unbeknownst to Jane Levy's character, she thought she had killed him towards the end of the movie when she was trying to get out of town with her younger sister. So when she's in the airport, she notices on the TV during the news they show authorities and people are there, and it shows Stephen Lang's character being hauled away because he's been hurt. She thought she had killed him, so it kind of leaves it open for the possibility of them doing one. Not to say she'll be in the next one, but who's to say she might not want to come back and get revenge? And we're all for that if that happens. Unfinished business, if they say. So I'm excited for this. I know Stephen Lang is actually busy as of right now, doing some other projects, but he is definitely down for this. And he played great villain. The movie was good. There were some parts that was so out there, but it kept you engulfed. All this being happening within a home setting. It was just done very good, very creepy, and this coming from a military veteran, blind, having the upper hand on somebody burglarizing his home, whichever. So that's kind of the overall gist of the story of the movie, whichever. So you guys keep a lookout. When I hear more information about Don't Breathe, I'll let you guys know. So with that said, moving on. Speaking of another movie that I'm looking forward to them going about making, hey, Bad Boys for Life. Now the thing with that Sony has been eyeing this, and what they're stating now is they're setting to possibly start shooting this in August of this year. Now, they have been talking about this for a couple of years about doing this. We know Will Smith and Martin Lawrence are on board. They're still on board. They had a director lined up earlier this year, but it kind of fell through the cracks. Now it looks like they have two directors who are coming on board to kind of get into this. And let me get their names right. They're very distinct. The first name is Adil El Arabi and Bilal Fallah. They are actually known for work on Romeo and Juliet type of movie called Black. And actually, it states that they're actually lined up. They've signed on also to do Beverly Hills Cop 4. So, they got their hands and their work cut out for them to do this. Now, we all remember the first one. It was done very good, with Martin Lawrence and all that. It was a hit. They did the second one, starring, of course, Gabrielle Union as well. And I'm just curious to see if they're going to bring some of the other people back in the movie. If Gabrielle Union's character is going to come back playing the girlfriend, now the wife, to Will Smith's character. Because remember, she was, seeing him, in secret at first. I would love to see if they do that. That would actually be awesome. Now, Will Smith is a busy, busy man. He actually is in the midst of working on the movie Gemini Man, which actually finishes up all this summer. So they finish up, I think they said, towards the end of July, and they're claiming production starts in August. That means that he's going to go straight into this movie if that's the case. Now, if I have more information about that, you already know I'm going to bring it to you. Now, if they started on time, like they said, that means he can't do what is it, Suicide Squad 2, that's going to be put on hold. I know they're considering doing, of course, a Bright 2, so all this is going to get pushed back maybe a year, because if they start in August and they finish it by the end of the year, that means this can be wrapped up and possibly come out in 2019. So fingers crossed for that. We have waited long enough. They finally need to get on it. And just like I said, Bad Boys for Life, and I'm totally down for that. Let me know what you guys think about that movie coming out. That is music to my ears. Now, speaking of another one, not in possibility, but hopefully, Wesley Snipes. He's very much open to doing a Blade 4. Now, we know how everything went down with him prior to him finishing up the trilogy. They had, of course, the first Blade came out in 98. Then we had Blade 2, my favorite one, came out in 02. And, of course, they did the final installment, which was, Blade Trinity, which came out in 04. Now, whispers that happened at first, a lot of the diva antics and all this other stuff had come on, whatever, and they kind of stalled it. That was the last one. And then, of course, they came up with the TV series, which came out in 06. And then it kind of pushed it away side, David Goyer being a part, in regards to the TV series. And it was done pretty well. I actually enjoyed it. The guy they picked to play Blade was awesome. He used to be with a group called Onyx. He did a great job, a great actor playing that role. And from there, it kind of stopped. Some personal things happened with the Wesley Snipes that pushed it where Blade was definitely off the radar. And from that, he went away for a minute, came back. Now he's kind of working his way back into the industry. He's done a couple movies. He did one of the Expendable movies with Sylvester Stallone. And then he's done a couple of independent films as well. So he's just trying to get back out there. He's thrown it out there as, wanting to be a part of it, being that Marvel has picked up the Blade. But right now, from what we're hearing from the powers that be, they would love to bring it into the universe, but not right now. We're finishing up phase 2 with Marvel, and we're heading into now phase 3, being that this is the 10-year anniversary of Marvel. And we're ending it, of course, with Black Panther. We have Avengers Infinity War, and of course, Ant-Man with Wasp. That's going to be the end of that. So we'll have to see going to phase 3 what they have in store. We have a lot of things coming up. Some other movies like the New Mutants, whatever. I know a lot of crossover. We'll have to see how that pans. I would love them to consider doing it. Some people might say he's a little older. I don't see it. I'll be honest with you. He still looks the same. They put the proper haircut, put him in the leather. He could play that part perfectly. I don't see that being an issue at all for him to do this, whichever. A lot of us love the Blade movies. I loved the second one, like I said. The third one was pretty good too. Ryan Reynolds, hint, yeah, our buddy, our Deadpool buddy, whichever, and all that. So we'll have to see if it comes out good storyline, and it has to have a good director. Let's just put it where it needs to go. It really needs to. I already know they can do the fight sequences because we know he has, martial arts background, whichever, and all that. So that's not like it's not doable to do it. So let's hope, because Marvel's good at what they're doing when it comes to the movies. So they have a good director and good script. I feel like it'd be in good hands. So I'm really actually excited if they consider doing that. I'll be there day one. So last but not least, Venom. I did a trailer reaction early this week for the new Venom movie. I'm so excited. Tom Hardy finally released something, and I actually liked it. Now, granted, it's a teaser. A lot of people were not happy because they didn't get to see Venom. I don't want to see Venom this early. The movie comes out October 5th, okay? Let's do the math. Some people want to see a little bit more, but I'm like, no, just tease me. And honestly, it was a tease. The way they do teaser trailers lately, they still show you a lot. So this was a true teaser, and a lot of people didn't like it. Me, personally, it didn't bother me. It gave me the symbiote. That was fine. That's what I wanted to see. It showed me Tom Hardy. Tom Hardy is a great actor, and he loves Venom. That's one of his favorite comic book characters. I feel like this. He's very particular about the movie roles he picks, so I give it the faith of knowing that he'll do the role perfectly. Him coming under the director, Ruben Fleischer, to be a part of this movie. Now, the other thing that came up during my YouTube reaction I did with one of my guy friends from work was they want to see if they're going to introduce us to Carnage. Now, that's what I'm discussing now, which is this particular one is Carnage. Venom is, of course, the backdrop. Now, the character that's coming to play is Woody Harrelson. I discussed Riz Ahmed, Michelle Williams being a part of it, and Jennifer Slate. Woody Harrelson is a part of this movie. Now, they're claiming, rumor has it, he's playing Cletus Cassidy. Now, from the way they're doing this, I'm not sure how they're going to do it. They did speak to the Hashtag Show, which is one of those podcasts, and we're discussing how it's going to go down with him accordingly. Now, they're claiming this, and let me just note this exactly right. They're stating this like this. Eddie Brock is in the state prison near the end of the film, possibly in the post-credit scene where he will be introduced to Cassidy by Dr. Ashley Kafka. Now, a piece of Brock's symbiote breaks off, makes its way toward Cassidy before the screen cuts to black. Now, essentially, the scene sets Carnage to be a major antagonist to the Venom sequel. Now, speculates that Harrison, who will be cast as Venom's henchman, that's where I go, key point henchman, was spotted in the set photos during the production. He's the most likely candidate to portray Cletus Cassidy, and that's what I'm thinking, because they're keeping it under wraps what his character is, and that's what I'm thinking he is if they do the sequel, depending on how good this movie does. So my fingers are crossed that that's exactly what it is, because in IMDb you really don't see his title of what he is. You just know Woody Harrelson's in the movie, so they're keeping a really tight lip. So there's a lot of rumors going around, a lot of speculation, but it's good speculation, and it makes us even more excited for the movie. Now, for the trailer possibly coming out, I think they're gonna make it closer towards Comic-Con, maybe May or June, right after Avengers. They'll probably put something out, but they might do that trailer during that, because that'll be July or August, and then we still have months to go. So I like it. I'm patient. It is what it is, and I'm down for it, and I'm looking forward to it. I have good faith in Tom Hardy, being at the helm of the movie, so I'm gonna give it kudos, and I'm gonna wait. I am patient. It is what it is. Now, with that said, you guys, we have a nice little next weekend. Black Panther comes out. I'm excited. I hope you all are too. Comment below. Let me know what you think. How many times you're going to go see it next weekend. I plan to see it twice. I'm looking forward to it. And all I can say is this. Before you all tune out, I have a little treat for you guys. I worked on a skit recently with the director Sebastian, shout out to him, and also with my WBGR family co-producer Coy. We want to put together something really fun and very, funny and laughable that you all will enjoy. It's called Blank Panther. We're going to go ahead and let you see that. So before we get into that, I appreciate you guys tuning in as always. I look forward to hearing from you guys. Like I said, comment below. We look forward to seeing you guys each and every week, every weekend. And like I said, next weekend is going to be all things Black Panther. I have two special guests who are going to come in here and talk all things Wakanda. And with that said, you guys enjoy this skit. I'll see you next week. Take care. Hey, hon, what you doing? You know what? Whatever. I have the packages that we need to take care of our errands, so I'm about to go out to the car. I'm ready whenever you are. Where is he? Oh, God, let me just text him, see where he's at. Where are you? We gotta go. We have things to do. Ah! Oh my God! What are you doing? Get off the hood! You know what? That's it. That's it. Get off the hood, honey. The neighbors can see you. What are you doing? First off, hun. All I gotta say to you is this. Get in the car, please. Please get in the car. Okay. Thank you. First off, you're not T'Challa. This is not Wakanda. Your movie comes out in one more week, hun. Can you save the fanboy for that time? We gotta take care of the errands. You just need to take the mask off and the gloves, please. Thank you. I appreciate it. All right. Okay, are you ready? Can we go?
Wakanda forever!
What? Oh my God. Hon, can you come in here for a minute? I need some help with this jar.
One minute, wait right there. I will be back.
Okay, all right. Oh my God, you know what? Go ahead, go ahead. Where's your powers? Really?
tickets now.